money spent in it.
That's the sort of question that is always, and. I've no real idea what it needs. You could say, what does it need for old, what does it need for young, what does it need for teenagers? Variable on all fronts.
I come from Littlehampton, yeah, and the town centre in Littlehampton has been decimated. So when I come here, it's quite good because compared to Littlehampton, it's a whole lot better. But I'm sure there's lots of things that could be done.
It's full of very old, retired people. A lot of them are disabled. I do voluntary work in hospitals. I walk about 10 miles a day. After 5 o'clock, you don't see a soul.
Yeah.
In London, I've just come back from London, and we were out till 1 o'clock in the morning. There's so much to do. Theatres, the South Bank. Do you know London?
Yes.
Right.
Very well.
I'm a singer, and I love dancing. On the South Bank, free concerts. There's so much to do. What do you do here during the day?
Obviously not enough singing and dancing.
A lot more youth really, and a lot more productivity, because what they bring to Worthing is elderly, and I understand it's elderly, and but it's not vibrant.
There are enough pubs, I think, but there's the Liquid Lounge, which is like a nightclub at night. Maybe some other night places. You know. I know they're trying to get a swimming pool.
I've been to America quite a few times. When you come back, you get off at the station, you say, you're drab. You come round there, and the first thing you see is the TV go. It's horrendous.
Yeah.
Everywhere looks so scruffy. Yeah. It does. They come round and they clean certain areas, but they do the same thing every week. They won't go to different areas, alternate it.
Actually, I'm very happy with this town, Worthing. I mean, it's got everything. The shops, the seafront, which is lovely. It's got cinemas and theatres, and it's got everything that I want.
More colour.
More places to hang out in the evening that don't involve having to buy an alcoholic drink.
I suppose it can mean more bigger stores or something, you know. Bigger stores. We've got dead ones, I know, but...
Well, for me, probably an indoor skate park. It's me, skater. And especially in this weather, it's freezing.
The Solihull Halls, we've been to gigs there. But they're few and far between the sort of things you'd want to go to. There's not much on at the other two. We weren't here when Hendrix played at the Dome. But somewhat along those lines, you know, modern music just seems to be, it's not represented here.
Where we park is pretty good. It's around by the back of Bento's there. That's pretty good, actually. I think the one that's near, as you go over the bridge to your left there, it's a bit far out.
Yes, I do. I do. I think what they did at Christmas was very good. Up at the car park near Town Hall, they reduced the price a lot.
It's been proven in other places that if you drop your car parking, people will actually come in and do stuff. If your car parking is high, they tend to not come in. So, it's the car parking is all private anyway. It's all NCP run anyway.
Yeah, definitely cheaper parking for everybody, and enough of it as well, because there's not enough of it. The trouble is, Worthing's got quite big now, and I don't think everything's caught up with it.
I've never had a problem, but I live quite close, a 10-minute walk away from town, and so no, that's not a problem for me.
Personally, we've got a car, and I totally understand the view behind the whole parking scene, but what people don't realise is that the reason that they're so high is because Worthing signed a contract with NCP to fix up the car parks. That's why we owe NCP so much money. So they're making them high so we can pay them off quicker so that we can regain control of the car park. That's like the whole point of it. So the higher they are, the quicker we'll get the control of them back, and then the prices will drop, I reckon. But the prices of tickets are ridiculous. That's totally unnecessary.
Definitely.
And why is that?
Because we have people going to doctor's surgeries, there's no lights on in the car parking spaces, they can't sit at 6 o'clock at night, they've got breathing problems or whatever.
Well, they've got enough car parking places, it's just that they're expensive. You can also go up to Safeway, you know.
My wife's disabled, so it doesn't really affect us. And what I tend to do is I shop at Waitrose, I'll park in Waitrose and get a bottle of wine on the way home.
Well, I haven't had much experience with parking cars, but with motorbike parking, they're really good. I mean, we've got one at Bandstand, one there, and one back of town.
Is it expensive?
Well, for motorbikes you don't have to pay.
I'm not really sure. It comes to money, doesn't it? Nobody's got more money to pay out. I think they've got to bring some business into the town so that it generates money within the town.
Support services and then tubes, then you rely on friends and relations, you rely on voluntary stuff basically, and it's whether or not people have got the time. In some ways, if something's going to be cut, then really you've got to kick up a fuss before it gets cut, because once it's cut you've got to have a hell of a job to try and ever get that back, because once it's gone, it's gone.
The money we pay for our taxes, they're not actually paying it back into the public. And I tell you, my nephew works, he's in Afghanistan, and he received a medal, and I didn't know, but I went to his do, and I was taken up to the mayor's do, and they held canopies, wine, everything else, and when I went to see him, they had lager and crisps.
Well, I used to go to Holly's, you know, that club up there, and they've cut that now. So they are cutting things. I think it's the government now, isn't it? Sort of up at head office.
Volunteer work. Try and get someone to do it though.
Well, you just got to shop locally, won't you? You just instead of buying online all the time. I've got 2 shops. I sell online, but most of the money we turn over is through the shop. People like to see things. We're a specialist thing. But it's hard out there. It is hard.
To be honest, I'm not even aware of them. I suppose to be made more aware of what is and what's not available, I suppose, at the moment.
Voluntary stuff? Much?
I don't think it's down to the people unless they want to volunteer. It's down to the government. That's what we pay our taxes for, or we did.
I'm not too sure. I haven't really heard anything about that. What's actually happened?
Encourage people to use it. There's probably too many shops anyway because of the internet now, I think. But I think somebody should think a bit more creatively how they're used.
This place, Gilbourne, used to be a 2-level at one point. Well, a lot of businesses are being crippled because you've got business tax, business rates. They got to pay them, plus the power and everything.
Do hairdressers, what people want, you know, make them feel good factor.
We'll perhaps go to Worthing Borough Council and see if any of them can be taken out of mothballs and used for a purpose. Over to Worthing Borough Council then.
Well, the thing is, we've got lots of big supermarkets like that, and well, if people really want to get the shops going, then they have to go to alternative shopping instead of shopping in the big supermarkets. Go down to the local shops. Yes, that's the best.
Well, I've always found that I find empty shops and things sad when there are so many people that haven't got places to stay. That's the sort of thing I would like to be used for.
I know the idea is to put art in them or something. I mean, I don't really see It's nice to show, to not make them look empty and make them look nicer than just blank spaces in town. Obviously, if there was some sort of scheme where homeless people were allowed to sleep in them during the night, as long as they were gone by 7 in the morning or something like that, I don't know, something simple like that. But obviously that's a property that's owned by someone, and at the end of the day, it's sort of, you've got to get everyone on board. That's not really feasible, is it?
Reduce the rental and the council tax business rates on them. It's about all, just to encourage people to start up.
Well, obviously fill them, bring out maybe new, different, quirky shops, and try to get some different kind of businesses, not just a standard, either corner shop or clothing shop, something new, something out of this world really.
What would I like to say to them? I think they just got to get a bit real.
Pull your bloody finger out. Think about what you're doing. Get down to basics.
Get on the ground floor.
Get real and get out and, well, politicians get real. They don't even know what things cost, do they? They've got no idea. They don't know what it's like to live. £6.08 the minimum wage. Even after it's and the average wage is what? 30? Yeah. There's a lot of people earning big bucks and a lot of people earning peanuts.
Well, invest in local industries, local shops, so get the people, especially small business people who may need help with the financing and special grants.
Let's get out there and see what it's like in the real world for people that are struggling and losing their homes and bringing up their children, and you can't give them everything you hope to give them. Just to stop living in a little bubble.
Look at what the people need and pull your finger out.
Well, think about ordinary people. Think how they feel. Don't do anything that just benefits from you. Think of the other people.
I think the world will change. Yeah, and I think there are lots of people out there who are taking action and standing up and making change happen.
Keep running everybody down.
They're doing the changes. They're doing the change they want to see, and the more people do it, the more people come out and join that change with them.
Do you think that a paradise is evident one day?
I think it's if we aim for perfection, then even if we fall short, we're just giving it our best shot. And that's the nature of life, to make the most out of everything that's
Can I leave you that to read?
Yeah, by all means.
And thank you for listening to me.
Thanks for